guys missed the blooper that's on the other one.
So you need
But yeah, I was doing this. Talk about being a fluffy tiger. Or no, leopard, whatever I am. Good morning. It's the breakfast show. It's the breakfast show. Let me decline that. I got to figure out how to do that stuff. Whew. Anyway, welcome to the breakfast show. Yes, I have a Sprite this morning.
She's all jacked up on Sprite.
And a little sativa. You know, sativa is, the breakfast show. My name is Mares, and welcome. And I'm joined by co-host
Alyeen.
And this is the breakfast show. It's our Wednesday morning show. Actually, I'm going to put you on the spot. Can we, next week start this, at 8:30?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
Yeah. I like a little bit more of a meditation before the show starts.
I love that.
And,
Yeah, I like
So anyway, today is a great day. It's Wednesday.
It's hump day.
Some people go hump. Do you hump on Wednesday? No. Actually, when you think about it, all right. When you think about it, that was perfect. By the way, we are live. This is totally unscripted, uncensored from the hip. And then I posted up on social media. Totally unedited. I don't edit a damn thing.
What you see is what you get.
What you see is what you get. And that's just the way it flows, baby. Oh, anyway, yeah, my hair looks a little flat. It's still wet.
Mine is it looked good before I left the house, but then it's the wind was blowing and I got here and the door was locked.
Yeah, well, Kay thinks that someone's going to come get her.
Yeah,
all right. So I have to, I have not done my Reiki precepts of the day, so I can be snarky and rude. and I'm just going to say, right now on over here in the 8001 building, and that's the one-story building, I share a wall with an attorney, and I'm glad it's an immigration attorey. And not,
which is really cool. We like that, yeah.
Whatever.
Immigration.
All right. I love immigration. I love everybody. Don't get me wrong, but I don't have to take your abuse on a daily basis.
Amen.
I don't have to. And so his office girls are kind of rude, and I'm being kind of nice about saying that. And so this one chick, the one that she's like the gang leader. Okay. I feel like it's like Pinky and the Sharkettes or something. I don't know, so when she knows that I'm seeing clients, she has started utilizing Johnny's, the attorney's daughter's office to see clients. And she's wicked loud, because I know that the attorney's daughter doesn't speak a word of Spanish, other than sí and no, and espera. I could be wrong, but, anyway, and it's an immigration attorney, and so anyway, they're speaking Spanish, and they'll speak really, really, really loud, and sometimes they talk about me. And I'm kind of like, I'm half deaf, and if I'm hearing you, pretty loud. So every time she starts talking, I go and get the white noise machine thing and I put it on tropical birds and I put it on full blast and I paste it to the wall. And then I put some kind of music on. One day I'm going to leave the drums beating. And I do that until she's quiet and then I turn it off. And I'm like, please get the message.
Mm-hmm. And she fusses about the birds, doesn't she?
Yes, she does. Where's that goddamn? Oh, sorry. She'll be yelling about the birds, and she was cussing one day, and I'm like laughing, and I'm like, peace, love, and harmony, wink, wink. And I mean that in love, because it's like one day they were out there, and they're crazy. And I'm like, so anyway, if it was a criminal attorney, can you imagine? Yeah, I killed the guy. This is what I did. And being the attorney, he can't tell on you. So I'm hearing all the, that's my fear.
I get it. I get it. They need white noise machines in their office.
I think I'm going to leave them a love note and just stick it under the thing and say, please get white noise machines for your offices. I'm hearing every conversation that you have, especially the one about the chick who's cheating on her boyfriend.
Okay, one more.
All right. And you're like, that has nothing to do with self-care, kids' wellness, nurturing my chakras, not a darn thing. And I'm like, no, it does not. But I haven't done my Reiki precepts, so I have, y'all are fair game. Fair game.
Love it.
But no, that's, she's worried she's going to have to hit that again.
I'm sitting here. No.
She's got this thing pounding in her hand, and I'm like, dang, does she want to hit me on the side of the head with it? But, you were telling the story about the pedicure. And how, and I thought that was interesting because a lot of times we do this and we talk about self-care, but we're probably pretty negligent when it comes to self-care.
Yeah. So shout out, Okay Nail Salon, I think, is up on Northwest Expressway. Just east of Council. It's in a little strip mall there in front of the Walmart. They're amazing.
Okay, it's in front of the Walmart strip mall.
There's a Home Depot and Walmart, just right there.
Okay Nail.
Okay Nail, I think.
She thinks.
And just a second. Okay Nail or Okay Salon. I'm turning this off because it's too loud.
Okay, should we go? I thought she was going to go get their business card so she could show you the business card.
But I don't think I did.
Yeah, and then I'm like, the business card I need is in the other room. So, I guess what I'll do. Well, her name is Kat. It's Kat Lucido. And I wish I had Kat's number handy. Oh, it's on the phone that I'm taping on.
Okay, Nail.
I'm totally unprepared.
Okay, Nail was not your foofy type place, but it was they did a fabulous job, and they were very empathetic and loving and kind.
It's the energy work.
Yeah,
it's the energy work.
It was beautiful.
There is nothing more rewarding in a healing session. And anything can become a healing session.
Right.
This is why we're talking about self-care. Anything can become a healing session. Okay. And so when you think of it like that and you go in and you're getting a pedicure, you're getting a manicure, and I love pedicures. You're getting your pedicure and you're just sitting there chilling and relaxing, and something happens and it just messes with your groove, and you're over there, and they can pick up in that shift of your energy, and in that shift and in receiving that message, man, they're already manipulating the energy. And that's the good kind of manipulation, not the negative manipulation, but the good manipulation in order to bring you back into alignment, or at least a sense of that harmony that you're starting to feel when you're like,
and this lady was so sweet, because that's exactly what happened. Is I stopped because it's like I needed a break. I needed just to chill for a minute, and something happened in the middle of it that totally knocked me off my feet again. And she just picked up on it and just started massaging my legs and rubbing. And I don't mean I make you feel better massage, but just gentle.
That manipulation. To me, I picked up a manipulation of energy.
So she was amazing.
It was
really a cool. It was a cool salon. It was a very, very cool salon. Little tiny hole in the wall. Their pedicures are $25. Nothing fancy.
Wow.
But they did good work. And
I'm to be honest, the nothing fancies are my favorite. Because it's more about, it's kind of like you go into some of the high end, and I'm not knocking high end because I like high end. I like a glass of champagne every once in a while.
I love Jim Nail Salon in Moore or South OKC, and they're high end, but we love that place because they're amazing in there too, but for different reasons.
Yeah.
So I have two different ones. I have a high end and a low end. And if I can't afford my high end, I go to my low end. That's what, you know.
Well, see, and I'm over here thinking about diners. I like food, okay? I'm not going to lie. I love food, and I love going to restaurants, and I love trying new restaurants and all that kind of cool, groovy stuff. And so I think of it, okay, so I love to eat at Mickey Mantle's, I will not lie. You know, it was delicious, and I've been there, you know, several times. But I also love a couple of these hole-in-the-wall diners. Or El Dollar Taco. Man, they are like slap your mama delicious.
Yeah.
And yeah, and you can call in fact, like they recognize your voice. Yo sé, quieres 12, you know, una docena de tacos, carne asada, and I'm like, ándale pues. You know, they already know what I want, you know, I love it. So that's my comfort food.
Yeah.
And so I look at it, you know, like when I'm already feeling my glitzy or my glamour or I'm in princess mode, I'm going to probably go high end. But when I'm feeling like I need some comfort, I need some mama love, I'm going to go to the dive, you know, I'm going to go to the dive nail place or whatever, where I know Big Mama's going to be over there. You know. Yeah. Let me make you feel better. Thank you. You know.
Exactly. It was just a beautiful experience. I just walked out of there going, that was amazing.
I feel like $1 million, and that's the way it's supposed to be.
So I don't even know, honestly, if I almost felt like that was more princess mode than the high-end nail salons.
Well,
you know, I mean, because...
Well, you know, it's kind of like, you know, where when you're going into the high-end place, you know, you've got your glitz on, and you've got a particular swag, and you're probably, you know, got a little shake in the behind when you're walking. You put your face on, as my mother would say. You know, and then when you're going over to the comfort food, you're probably wearing your sweats. You're going, thank God I got a mask on. I can just throw some eyeliner on and nobody cares. You know? Put my hair back in a bun, you know, or whatever it is.
Just wearing my most comfortable t-shirt.
Or where's my beanie? You know? And then they're like, do you know, you look like Jay from Jay and Silent Bob when you wear a beanie? And I'm like, no way, I do. And I'm like, oh, hell, I do. So, yeah, I quit wearing beanies. Just for that reason, you know, but, you know, it's the comfort part. You know, it's like going to a diner, you know, and, you know, that favorite greasy spoon that you have because everybody knows your name or they give you a hug.
I love places like that.
Yeah, I'm like, heck yeah.
Like, oh, you haven't been in here in so long. And I'm like, you know me?
Oh, shoot.
You remember me?
I was like the girls at Brahms. They go, we know you by your voice. You get the same thing every day. And I went, I know, because it's a complete meal all in a burrito, you know?
Yeah.
I got my eggs, I got my vegetables, I got my meat. Hey, what can I say?
It all works.
And it works great.
Works good.
Yeah, I've been doing
you get your chakra breakfast?
Actually, there's no blue in it.
Add blueberry yogurt.
Okay, I could do that. Actually, yeah. You know, that's what you were mentioning. You said, I love the holiday season because you nourish all the chakras.
It's true.
And I'm like, oh, you're right.
Yeah. Those holiday meals that you overindulge in, when you're overindulgent, when you have overindulged and you're laying on the bed going, oh, you know, think about, oh, my chakras are so happy.
I nourish them.
All of them.
I nourish the red, the root with that cranberry sauce. I added sweetness to my root, you know? You think about it.
Yeah.
When you're intentional with your food thought. Okay, so you've done what else can you do with tomato aspic?
Cranberry is also, it's the sweet and the tangy.
The sweet and the tangy, so sweet and sassy.
Yeah, there you go.
You know?
There you go. And then if you're doing cornbread dressing.
Well, that would be the solar plexus, but If it's kind of browned or burnt, then it would be the root by Color Therapy Association. Okay, all right, so orange would be glazed carrots.
There you go.
Honey glazed carrots.
There you go.
And let's see.
Or carrot salad.
Good morning, everyone.
Carrot salad if you're from the deep south like I am.
Carrot salad, sweet potatoes and yams. What else is orange?
We always have to have sweet potato pie because I have a son who's allergic to pumpkin.
Oh, okay. So pumpkin would be another orange.
Yeah. So we do. So always have to have sweet potatoes. My husband also has an addiction there, so.
I love sweet potatoes. Yeah, man, they are so good.
He actually makes me nuts sometimes.
Okay. And then when we're feeding our solar plexus, that's yellow.
So we got cornbread,
corn, yellow squash. I would even go butternut squash. It could be in between the yellow and the orange.
It's close.
Spaghetti squash. Squash. Okay. You're like, oh, squash. What else is yellow? Lemon pie.
Oh, there we go. Lemon pie. That's
lemon cake.
I need another slice of that lemon cake. My solar plexus is stressed out.
You know, I would be like, my pancreas is, I need some lemon cake and lemon pie so I can see the sweetness in life. You know? Yeah, and y'all are like, is she serious? And I'm like, yes, I'm serious.
That's serious.
Very serious. All right, go. So we've got solar plexus. Okay. Green is the heart, or pink. So.
What is the pink fluff? Do you do the
pink fluff? Because I was thinking of cherry like an ambrosia salad.
Yeah, like an ambrosia
with cherries
salad.
in it.
Yeah.
So it's pink.
There we go.
And then it would also could be for the root.
Because of the cherries.
Okay, so here we've got your holiday chakra all planned out.
Yeah, so Watergate salad.
Watergate
is green. You hear he's talking about all the sweets?
I know.
Do you hear this? Okay, so broccoli cauliflower salad for the heart chakra, which is like my favorite. I love broccoli cauliflower salad.
I'm glad she didn't say something like that. What's that? Fruit cake. Nut cake. Fruit cake. Is it called fruit cake?
Yeah.
That crazy cake that they do at the holiday times, it's really gross.
Oh, my grandma made the best, and I wish I could get her recipe, but I have a couple of sisters that guard that recipe, won't let me have it. But she made it with graham cracker crumbs.
Oh.
And I always loved fruit cake, and I didn't understand why until I was older and figured out learned how she made it. Because all my friends were like, "Oh, fruitcake, yeah."
Yeah, you know, that stuff is gross.
But my grandma's was
like
really yummy.
Pie, man. Ugh.
I love fruitcake. Weird, but okay. And then you get fruitcake, man, and you got all those chakras nourished.
Your grandma's from the South, right?
Yes.
Okay, then I bet you, Southern Living Annual.
Oh, I'll have to. I need to Google. I don't think I've ever Googled.
Yeah,
fruitcake made with graham cracker crumbs.
Yeah,
really good stuff.
That does actually sound delicious. And
I don't know how she does it, but I think she made crumbs and then put the fruit mix in it and something else and then formed it into a loaf and we sliced it up. It was good though.
Okay, so that just came to my head. S'mores. S'mores are going to be crown and root. Okay, just saying. And if you want to count the graham crackers as being orange, it could also be sacral.
I love it.
Okay, all right, just saying. And everyone's like, I think she's thinking about sweets and food. She must be a little bit,
a little bit hungry today. Or munchies.
Munchies. And I'm like, dang.
What about throat chakra?
Eggplant.
We don't usually have eggplant, but I'm trying to think
blue.
of...
What's blue? Blueberries. Blue corn, blueberries. I've seen blue-green beans.
Okay.
I've seen purple-green beans, too. I grew some. They were really pretty.
Mm-hmm. Why am I doing this? I'm just sitting here doing this now.
Because she's like, help me open up my throat chakra so that my words are not... Excuse me. My words are not stifled or misconstrued.
There we go.
That's usually like if I'm afraid of saying things or talking, and sometimes they're like, "You're afraid," and I'm like, Sometimes.
Sometimes.
And I wouldn't say it's stage fright, but sometimes it's scenario fright.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on where I am or who I'm with or whatever, I will, manipulate my hand over around my throat chakra and give myself some self-care energy love to boost my ability to speak. And then
It just made me think of this. So,
I do declare.
The therapist that I was working with this last week, she was talking about the little brain and the big brain.
Mm-hmm.
And by putting your hand over your heart, you actually connect the little brain and the big brain.
Mm-hmm.
So you create gratitude and thankfulness, which I think I knew that, but it's nice to have reminders, right?
Yeah. Well,
so sometimes you forget these little things.
I naturally do that, and especially if I feel weak or vulnerable, in my spirit, you'll notice that my hand will come up through here. So now everybody will go, we're going to watch her body language.
She feels vulnerable right now.
Oh, yeah. Now I can, say something crazy on a comment. And I'll probably, roll my eyes or whatever. But, and actually it was, I worked at this one college, and one of the professors from the other department, she would come into my office, and I would always have my hand over there, and she asked me one time if I had a crush on her. And I was like, no. And she was like, every time I walk into your office, you grab your boob. What's the deal? And I'm like, I wish my boob was that high. Thinking in my head
just
now.
Like if I'm grabbing my boob, I'm going to be down here.
Exactly. And I'm like, yeah, I wish that was that perky. And then I realized at that time, I was like, oh my God, I'm automatically just giving myself some Reiki.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, gee, Cookie Bear, could it be because you're intimidating as hell? And they tell me I'm intimidating. I was like, if she made me want to grab my boob, whatever.
Do you know what I've noticed? This is just an observation. So, I feel like that because I've had people tell me that I'm intimidating, and I'm like, what do you mean? I don't whatever. And these are people that I feel are intimidating. So it's almost like there's some sort of energy exchange that says, yeah, I don't understand what it is. And these will be people that I get along with. It's not like...
Having some spiritual warfare.
And it's... But it's weird because it'll be like when they first meet me, they're like, you're really... I always thought you were really intimidating. You really intimidated me. You were, and I'm like...
I get
where did that come from?
I don't understand. You're so smart. Well, and I'm like, what?
I get that.
You know so much stuff.
I get that too, and that'll be a lot of reasons why people say that I intimidate them is because they feel like I'm so intelligent, and I'm like, I don't know or do anything different that you could do or know. I mean, it's just I don't. I've never understood the whole, that when people say, you're so smart, how did you learn all this stuff? How did you get to, and I'm like, the same way anybody else would. I put one foot in front of the other. I mean, I don't know. I don't understand, but.
What's funny is I took Facebook off my phone. I noticed that I'm less stressed out.
Yeah.
Okay, and so my next step is to take Twitter off my phone.
She loves Twitter.
I love Twitter because it's always nice to see what everybody's griping about. Mm-hmm. And that's what I found. That's all they ever do is gripe. There is nothing positive on Twitter. Nothing. It's griping. That's all they do is gripe. Or if you try to be positive, the other side comes in. If you're trying to be light, the dark is. If you're trying to be peace, the unpeace is like. Blah, 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 blah. And it's very, very stressful.
Yeah. Yeah.
On that, and I'm like, I
agree.
So, one of the things that makes me laugh is that they're talking about degrees. Because you've got. And it has to do with them counseling. They're talking about he's going to cancel school debt or student loan debt. And I'm laughing. I was going, he's not going to cancel my student loan debt. He's going to cancel somebody else's or another group, you know. And I really don't owe that much. I mean, I owe something, but I don't owe that much. And I've actually been in protest about it. Thank you, COVID, that I haven't been in trouble with him. But, and I was like, do you know how many people went to schools and these schools pretty much just generate out a degree because you sat in a chair?
What blows my mind is people that go to school and get a degree in, I'm just going to be facetious about it, underwater basket weaving.
Oh yeah, some kind of.
And you just spent $100,000 on some obscure degree.
And then you're.
And now you're driving a garbage truck.
You know,
I mean, I don't understand.
Well, you know,
I don't get it.
I'm like, you know, we there was so much focus on that, but it was kind of like, just because you have a degree that was pretty much generated by the fact that you sat in a chair and you did group projects. That's the way that I look at it. I taught in career colleges and in like private colleges for about 6 years. And in the career college, it was pretty much work the curve in order for everybody to make an A or everybody to pass. And there was this one girl that wasn't going to graduate from the program, and I refused, you know, because I had a lesson plan and she was going to follow this lesson plan. And she didn't like that, so they worked out. I mean, kind of embarrassed me in the meeting, but I'm like, I just sat back and was like my cool self, and it was hilarious because they were doing her tutoring for her to get her degree, and I would walk into the library and she would be asleep in the library, and the person that was running her tutoring or whatever wasn't even around. And she graduated. And all I could think of was, that chick's going to be giving you immunizations. She's going to be doing your COVID testing. Mm-hmm. You know? That's all I'm thinking the whole time. And I was like, so these career colleges are garbage. And they just produce a piece of paper and somebody says, I can do this, and they really can't do that.
Yeah.
And it's sad because they drop in student loans, because these are private schools. Your lesser degrees were $15,000 plus for a market that they might have been making $1 or $2 over minimum wage for that $15,000 degree. And so we, you know, and I'm like, man.
It doesn't make sense. That doesn't make
It doesn't.
sense.
It's crazy.
I'm thankful that my
Go to
son.
trade school.
Yeah, I'm thankful that my son found something that he enjoyed that actually makes good money, because he started out of vocational school in high school, his junior year in high school, with electronics, and it just so happened it was kind of a fluke thing that he got into this class. He got into the class and found out that it was actually aviation electronics, and that it was a sister program to a college in Tulsa. And so his senior year, because we moved up here, there wasn't a program that high school students could do that was equivalent to what he had already been doing, so he could transfer his credits and things. So the college agreed to take him a year early, his senior year. And because of what he does, it was FAA regulated, so they have to know the stuff or they don't get out, right?
Yeah, I'm like, trade school.
But he actually had some of the same complaints. That he goes, some of these professors are just lazy. He goes, they're not really teaching, you know, kids are having to learn stuff on their own, but you have to take these FAA regulation tests in order to get your certificate, because you have to have FAA regulated, you know, certifications. And so he goes, it's kind of ridiculous. He goes, so he actually got in really good with a couple of his professors, and he would literally he would spend the night at his professors' houses and help them build things and create things and stuff. And so he did stuff so he could get out of the program. And I don't know how much his student loan debt ended up being, because he wouldn't tell me. He just said, I'll take care of it, don't worry about it. And so he's taking care of it. He's got a good job, and he's only got a certificate. He's making really good money. But my thing is just be smart about what you're doing. I mean, if you know, like you said, if it's a $15,000 plus program and you know you're only going to be making $1 or $2 over minimum wage, why are you going to put yourself in that position?
Oh, because they tell you this wonderful opportunity and it's an entry-level job and you get to move up. Yeah, but you're also struggling to pay student loans for an education that really wasn't worth $15K.
Right.
It's not.
It's not. Do
It's
your
not
research.
worth it. You know,
Do your own
I'm
research.
like, I had an opportunity to go back to teaching again, and I was like, hell no.
Yeah.
You know, my last semester of teaching, I had to teach the intro into like a student success class, and I'm like, why am I teaching students how to read a textbook?
Yeah.
Why am I teaching fractions and how to convert decimals to fractions in this, and I'm like, wow, they should have already obtained that in high school in order to be successful in the next level. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so I look at it and I'm like, go to Votech. Go learn a trade. Because trades will never go away. They will always be there. They will always find that you cannot be infallible. And I'm like, in the degrees, I don't know so much about the business aspect, but these liberal arts degrees are bougie. Don't waste your time. You can't feed your family on women's studies. I went to college originally for anthropology and museum training. I wanted to work in art, like interpreting archaeology stuff, etc. When I realized that I would have to have a PhD to barely make minimum wage my first couple of years, I dropped out of that program pretty quickly.
Yeah. My daughter's a cosmetologist, and she talks about the same sorts of things. I mean, she didn't feel like she got a very good education, that she's gotten more education since she's gotten out of school than what she got in school. And she works at a salon. She's actually one of the managers of the salon now. And she's like, Mama, you would not believe these people that come in that have graduated from cosmetology school, supposedly you're experienced. And she goes, I'm having to teach them how to cut hair.
Who's teaching them? I mean, what's happening?
What's going on? And so these girls are graduating from cosmetology school, and cosmetology school is like what you're talking about. You're looking at $10,000 plus, $15,000 to go to cosmetology school for 9 months. And then they come out and they can't even cut hair. I mean, what's up?
What's the deal?
Yeah. And it's like, and I get cosmetology is almost kind of an artsy-fartsy type of thing. You either got it or you don't type thing.
I get it.
It's,
I don't have it.
I
can't even do my own hair.
But why are they graduating if they're not getting it? Why are you putting them out there?
Well,
and these people are cutting your hair, and they're doing your hair. And if you're getting, if you're lucky enough to have a good stylist that's good at what they do, then that's awesome. But, it's the same sort of thing.
But in cosmetology, the barbershop, they're not doing chemicals. In cosmetology, they are. Do you want that chick frying, or that guy, whoever, frying your hair?
Right.
Or, putting, frying it with color, frying it with a perm. I love perms, I'm just saying. When I looked at it, it was like, I had to get out of that racket.
Yeah.
Because I could not, in honesty, I couldn't graduate people anymore that I didn't think put in the work.
Right.
And that was essentially what I was trying to get to, is that they were talking about on Twitter,
right.
Is it people that put the work in for that piece of paper and the people that do group projects for that piece of paper. And that they have a totally different perspective of that student loan, or how you pay for school, or what you're going to do with what you learned in school, or how you're going to focus your education. And it's, and I still look at it at anything. Nobody respects anything that they receive for free. And we're like, yes, we do.
Yeah, no, you don't.
No,
And
you
that's-
don't.
and that's
no,
just-
you don't.
That's just the whole law of exchange. I mean, you don't. If you're getting it for free, then what's the value you've put on it?
Nothing.
Zero.
You put
have
zero
no
value.
value on that whatsoever. And so, people. In fact, I had a text message yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Can I buy another Groupon? No, you may not. Sorry, you may not buy another Groupon.
It says
One per person. That's the way it works. I did offer a $10 discount on the second service, but I'm not going to do it again. Like, I'll give you $10 off for your next visit.
Yeah.
I mean, but when you get something for free, you get something for cheap, you start expecting it over and over and over again, and then you're devaluing the service. You're devaluing whatever it is that's happening.
And I'm going to say, then you're going to get to this point, because I see this all the time. Then you get to this point, you've been receiving this $80 service for $40,
Mm-hmm.
and then now you see this service as a $40 service, and that's it.
Right.
You don't see it for that value of that $80 service, or what
Right.
you're receiving for, at an $80 value. And that's, and we all, because it's kind of like, if you keep getting discounted prices, or you keep getting discounted, then you don't find a value in what you're doing. So it's like, if you keep getting classes for $9.99
Mm-hmm.
online,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe and you buy 50 classes, and I'm exaggerating the number here. The first 5 you're all excited about, and you put and invest your time and stuff into
Mm-hmm.
it, and then after that you look at it as a $9.99 class,
Exactly.
even though
I just
it's
spent
$1,000 class.
Yeah.
I just spent $10
on it.
on
It's no
it.
big deal. I'll get
No
back
big
to
deal.
it eventually. It's no big deal.
And it's 2
You know,
years later.
And that's human nature.
No, it is.
It's human nature. I do it.
But
I mean,
if you had invested $1,000
Mm-hmm.
in that, you would have knocked that stuff out
Yeah.
in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And that that was the best $1,000 I've ever spent
Yeah. Yeah.
on this online, education.
Well, and
or
I
whatever.
see that because, when we do the classes on Udemy a lot,
Mhm.
right? And so I always watch for their sales so I can get the classes a little cheaper. But my other studies that I'm doing right now that I
Mhm.
spend $50 a credit hour on,
Mhm.
and so a course is going to be anywhere from $50 to about $200 or $300 each.
Mhm.
I always prioritize that one.
Oh yeah.
If
So I
those
gotta
are going
work
to come
on that
first, I've got to
crap.
work on that one because, man, I just spent $200 on this course.
Yeah.
I got to get this done,
So, yeah.
But the course I signed up for on Udemy that I paid $12 for,
or $9.
or $9,
$9.99.
that normally runs for about $200, gets put on the back burner because I only spent $10
I didn't
on
invest
that.
that much.
Yeah, it's no big deal.
So we
It's
do
only
that with our
$10.
self-care, though.
Yeah,
we
we
do
do.
that,
We do.
and
Same
it's
thing.
like, oh, I've got to go and do this. Oh, I can't afford. I love that. Oh, I can't afford to get a massage, because I'll tell some of my clients, you really need to get a good deep tissue massage.
Mhm.
You've got a lot of anger in
Yeah.
your tissue, and it's all up in these knots. It's not anger.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shh. I rebuke you,
Exactly.
Get behind me, Satan. No, just kidding on that. No, I'm not. I'm not kidding. And they will, scoff at spending $60.
It's your water guy.
It's the water guy. Hi. Oh, pretty good. Let me see what I got in here.
So our water guy shows up on Wednesdays. It's kind of fun. Usually while we're recording. So we keep telling him we're just gonna put him on with us.
You too.
It's the water guy.
It's the water guy. He's so cool. And we were good today on water.
Yay.
And like I overpaid my bill, so we've got like a credit. Yeah, I'm not really happy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what were we talking about? The water guy took me.
Yeah, no, he's kind of good looking. And
Yeah.
he kind
Bobby
of
Boucher. No.
It's kind of like, whew. Okay. You spend $60. You need a massage.
Oh yeah,
know,
you spend. You'll
$60.
They go, oh, I don't have enough money to, oh, I can't afford that.
Yeah.
That massage, I can't afford that. Yeah. But then they'll turn around and they'll go to Applebee's and buy a bunch of food that's literally cooked in a bag and cut and like put on your plate, and drop $75 or $80 for an hour's worth of kind of semi-pleasure, and then they go home and they have a bellyache or they're hungry by the time they get home. So then they're going through the cabinets or looking in the refrigerator, or someone's calling the pizza place, and spending another $30 after all of this. And I'm kind of like, you know what? You could have eliminated all of that crap with a $60 massage.
And felt better.
And
gone home and eaten a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I have actually gone without lunch, especially if I've gotten to the point where it's like I really, really need a massage. But I've gone without, or even because I drive for Uber sometimes, I'll even go, I've got to get a massage, or I really need to take time for a pedicure. I'll go drive for 3 or 4 hours, make a little extra money, and go get it done. I mean,
oh yeah,
you just got to figure it out, I guess. I mean,
for me, because it was when we didn't have an oven, it was I didn't even want to cook.
Yeah.
It just like, wow, dang it, I can't bake a cake, or I'm kind of like, do I bake cakes now that I have an oven? And I'm like, not really. And I'm like,
it's usually the way it works.
It's this mind frame, like you can't do something,
so
you don't even want to be in the kitchen. And it's kind of like living in a cluttered, or having a cluttered kitchen. It's the same thing. You don't even want to mess in there. It's just easier to go get something to eat and bring it back home. Go to my diner or whatever.
Her greasy spoon.
My greasy spoon. But I find that when I do good self-care, if I go and get my massage, if I go get a pedicure, if I'm going out there and doing my hiking, I love to go fishing, do all these different things. If I'm doing self-care and taking time for me, I come home and I make a better meal.
Right.
I'm excited about cooking something in the kitchen.
And I think you're a better parent, you're a better spouse, you're a better friend.
You're better to yourself, because you're already giving yourself some love.
You're just kind of, you've got more love to spread.
Oh, yeah.
It's the whole analogy of, well, it's really not an analogy, but it's real. The whole thing of, when you fly on an airplane and they do the little spiel before the plane takes off, if the oxygen masks fall from the ceiling and you have a child next to you, who do you put the oxygen mask on first?
Me.
Right. And then you put it on the child. Seems backwards because it's like, well, this is a little kid. We need to make sure they're taken care of.
No, I can't take care of you if I'm gasping.
Yeah.
And speaking about that, that goes into emotional health for our kids.
Right.
And right now, I was over at my son's house, and I'm like, why are your kids home? And he's like, they closed the schools down again. And I went, seriously? And he said, yes, all the schools are closed down again. And I'm like, you know what? I think I was like, do I need to open up granny school?
I'm ready. Let's do it. We have a classroom.
And I'm like,
let's do it.
Because this is getting ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, and it's not good for the kids.
It's not good for the kids. It's up and down. They're disconnecting. They're disconnecting from their friends.
Mm-hmm.
They're having little to no social life. And I'm like, and my grandkids can play a hell of a lot of good video games. Man, it was just like this, and I was looking at them, and I'm like, put the electronics away. Grandma is here, and they're like, oh my God.
What are we going to do now? Shoot.
But now they know when they come with me and they get in the truck or they get in my car, they don't bring electronics, because I'll be like snapping pissed. Get that out of my car,
Yeah, put it down.
Put it down.
For real.
But, and I'm like, okay, so kids are not getting their emotional health, they are stressing out, and I told my grandsons yesterday, you better get outside and play in the sunshine, you're looking pale, and I'm like, I'm not seeing that out on the streets. I'm not seeing kids out on the streets. I'm not seeing them in the sunshine, they need to be getting out there and doing stuff in the sunshine, okay? This is their emotional health.
Yeah.
Another thing in self-care is getting your kids attuned to Reiki. And even if they don't get attuned, you can start with the hand placements.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of time because I was a pediatric psychiatric nurse for probably about a year and a half, almost a couple years. I just, energetically, I didn't want to do that anymore. I was going through some grief stuff. My dad had died, and I was really heavy with a lot of grief in my heart. It was really, really hard for me. My dad was dying, and so I left pediatric nursing, or psych nursing. But anyway, going back to it was, in the beginning, my first day, I would like walk on the unit and like these kids are like literally like freaking crawling on the wall, and I'm like, oh, I can't do this. And it wasn't that I can't do this. I was like, we got to bring the harmony back in. It was like, this imbalance sucks.
Yeah.
So I started, and I was like, and I'm feeling reactive to it. So I started doing Reiki on myself, like in the car on the way there. And then on the way in the building, I would be doing Reiki. And I may not be, doing with my hands, but, in the mind's eye, I'm like sending it here, there, and everywhere. And it took about 6 months, and the unit started to mellow down. Mm-hmm. And then I would, work with the kids, and I would say, hey, do this. And I would tell them to put their hand on their throat. When you want to scream and be, that you're going to get in trouble for voicing in that, using your voice in that manner, put your hand over your throat. Mm-hmm. And I'll come stand next to you, and I'll give you support. I'll help you. And so then I would teach them, and when you want to act out and do something, that you're going to get in trouble, you can't hit people or whatever, put your hand over your heart area, and then I will know that you're stressed out. And actually what they were doing is they were giving themselves Reiki. Mm-hmm. And so it got to the point that they would trigger the Reiki on, and then they would go on with a positive energy.
Right.
Or they would move forward with positive energy. And so it helped the kids to become accountable and responsible without them even really kind of thinking about what they were doing.
Right.
It was, I'm teaching them, this is a hand signal for me, you're stressed out. And then I would automatically, by the law of correspondence, I'm sending Reiki to that kid.
Right.
And so they're getting Reiki and then, from me, but they're also triggering it on their own. Mm-hmm. So it's like, so if they have a lot of racing thoughts, what do we normally do when we're feeling frustrated in the head? We normally will take our hand and do this.
I'm known to do.
Okay. You're giving yourself Reiki, folks. Whatever anybody says, you're doing self-Reiki when you take your hands and you put them on your forehead and you're like, oh my God, or oh my goddess or whatever, you're doing Reiki. It's a technique. You're clicking in the energy, and then when you're attuned, you amplify that. Mm-hmm. So get your kids attuned. By a cool, credible Reiki practitioner.
By a cool, you see that? I heard that plug for yourself. By
a cool one. I like to attune kids. I like to teach kids.
Yeah.
Because kids aren't going to go there and tell me about the history of it, or what does it mean? They like something that's very concrete. This is what you do. It's almost like a game, and then they start feeling good when they're playing that game.
Right.
And then, where you're saying, hey, if you're stressing out and this is where you're feeling it, or our kids, especially when they're talking anxiety in their belly,
yeah,
teach them, okay, let's balance your tummy. Mm-hmm. Let's get rid of that. Let's put your hands on here, and then you take your left hand and you pull it, or whatever you're going to do.
We need to do a kids Reiki class. We should. That would be fun.
And you kind of just teach them some basic skills in self-care. Get your kids started. It's emotional wellness.
Yeah.
During this time, we got holiday season coming around. What have they got spreading around on the news? You're not going to have Thanksgiving. You're not going to have Christmas. And that's like, and for kids that believe in Santa Claus, mm-hmm. that's a freaking rejection.
Yeah.
What?
Abandonment.
Abandonment. You're
Yeah.
rejecting me. You don't love me anymore. You're abandoning me. Santa isn't coming because Governor Newsom said we can't have Christmas. You know, whatever it is on there. So these kids are stressing out. They may not be going over there and going, Mom, I'm stressing out. Dad, this is messing with my head. They are going to be off in their silent self.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, it's
with their head in the video games.
So it's
Doing their
okay
thing there.
to reach out to your kids and start talking to them
Mm-hmm.
and start asking questions. Getting involved with them. Dude, let's read a book together. And they're like, and then by the middle of the book, they're like, oh my God, what's going to happen
next?
with the next chapter? Don't stop reading!
Brett, my husband likes to read chapter books to the kids at night, and we've kind of gotten out of the habit of it because our kids got older, but now we have a couple of younger kids in the house, and he's like, I need to start reading again. I haven't been reading. And so he started reading again. Well, even our 17-year-old, and he's reading a book that he's read to our 17-year-old before, and our 17-year-old's like, oh, I didn't remember that. I'd totally forgotten about that.
Yeah.
Type thing. And so and it's fun because the kids will be like, oh, Dad wants to read another book to us. Mama, please. And I'm like, it'll be fine. You'll live. Let him read you a book.
You'll like it.
You'll like it, I promise. And usually it's the first couple of chapters they're all going, okay, fine.
And then they go, what happened to Billy Bob?
And then he'll get into it more, and he's like, okay, that's all for tonight. And they're like, no, can you read another chapter before we go to bed?
Yep.
One more chapter, Daddy, please.
Now, my favorite book for my youth, I have two. When I was in 1st and 2nd grade, I loved Snowbound with Betsy. Man, that book rocked. It's like being snowed in, no electricity, but Mama can cook. Yeah. And then the other one was Genie of Sutton Place. And it was about a boy, and he's in 4th grade. He's like 10 years old, 4th grade. And his parents die, and he ends up going to live with like an eccentric aunt. And then he ends up with a genie.
Oh, wow.
And it's a really good book.
That sounds like a good book.
I think that's what I'm going to order for my grandsons. And I think that's because I was going to go, we're going to read Animal Farm, and then we're going to read 1984, Fahrenheit 4, and then I decided, no, let's start with Genie of Sutton Place.
And so another good book is called Bud and Me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a historical autobiography novel type thing, but it's about two young boys from this area. I think they were from Weatherford, Oklahoma, in the early 1900s. That actually, and they were like 5 and 7. I mean, young boys drove a car to Washington D.C. by themselves.
Oh my God, I remember that story.
Yes,
it is so good.
Amazing story. In fact, the Chisholm Trail Heritage Center in Duncan actually had a replica of the car in the museum for a little while, and my oldest daughter actually did a living history program for the Heritage Center for their school, for the school trips, where she dressed up and pretended to be their older sister.
Oh, that's so cool.
And tell the story about how it went. How it happened. So it's kind of cool.
I hadn't read the book, but I did see the movie or a documentary about it on PBS.
Okay, yeah.
So no, it was real. No, I was like, oh, I know the story.
It's a good book. Brent's reading it to the boys right now, but when he's done with it, I'll let you borrow it.
Oh
so
yeah, I think the boys would like that. That would be a cool story.
Yeah. The girls didn't get into it quite as much as the boys did, but the boys are like, they did what?
Yeah, see that's a dude story. That's not a chick.
Yeah.
That's not a chick
it's
story.
Not a chick story. So.
No, that's a dude story.
So that's a fun one. So we like that one.
Unless you're.
But for girls, if you like historical novels, I love the Lois Linsky books. Strawberry Girl, Bayou Suzette, and they're all geographical. And it's about girls in different areas in the United States. And there's a whole set of those books.
Oh, that's very cool.
So that one's a fun one.
So, there's a lot of good, cool things, but connecting with your kids is really important. Or your grandkids. So if you have grandkids, reach out to them. They need grandma love. They need grandpa love. They need that involvement, especially during this crazy, crazy times. This election stuff's going to leak on for quite a while, so we might as well just sit back and enjoy our families, reconnect with our friends. And I know that it's really stressful when we're being told that we can't celebrate holidays with the people that we love and that we, like and love. And then and then it puts a damper on the Christmas spirit. Don't let that flame your love, man. Don't let that damper you. Get into that spirit. Get into your family. Get into your friends. Bring your circle together. Even if that means that sometimes you got to Zoom an afternoon. Hang out. Be united with them.
Yeah.
Your kids, your family, they need it. They really uber, super duper need it. And especially during this holiday season, it's really important.
Take some time to talk to your children about what their interests are and figure out maybe some things that they would like to learn or explore or something, and make Christmas meaningful even. I mean, with our kids, we've always tried to make sure that at least one of their Christmas gifts was something that was interest-based.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it was, I know one year my girls got a mineral makeup kit, and we made makeup together, cosmetics together, or, an electronics kit if they are interested that way, beading, whatever it is that their interests are, because that's going to help them engage their minds into something productive and, learn something new and become excited about something.
My grandsons crack me up. Because yesterday, when I was over there and we were talking about how they didn't have school, or they were doing virtual school, and I was like, we need some science experiments. And my grandson was, Granny, it's Christian. He looks at me, and I know, yes. And he goes, Michael's has science experiments. And I was like, you're right, dude. Granny burped today, though. So today I'll probably, or sometime, maybe this weekend I'll go take him. We'll go to Michael's. And
so when you say that, we have the science club for kids, which nobody has signed up for, and I would love to get that going. There is a cost associated with it, but the science kits that I was planning on getting for the science club are amazing, and the kids are going to go home with information and experience and stuff. So it's going to be a good program for them. So if that's something that you're interested in, reach out to me, and let's get that going and get it set up. I had interest, but nobody has really followed through with that. So that's one thing. The other thing is, you're talking about science experiments and stuff. I have a set of books by an author. Her name is Janice Van Cleve. And they are very easy to read, simple to follow. Biology for every kid, physics for every kid, chemistry for every kid, and the experiments in the books are stuff from around the house.
Oh, I love it.
So they're super, super easy to follow. So if we get the science club going, if we don't do the science kits and order those in, which those are kind of cool, and they come with educational material and everything right there, then that is another option that we can do. So
see, I think those are very cool. Get active with your kids and get your kids active in living in life and being in peace and harmony, and be willing to listen to their concerns and address those concerns. So I hope you've enjoyed today's show. We need to wrap it up. So any last words?
Call us.
Peace, love, and harmony.
Call us.
I still have Chakra Balancing on sale for $45. You can purchase and schedule online. The link is on the page, but I will repost it again.
We're still doing health scans, $125 for the scan, and it's a great time to get those done, so call either one of us for that. Great information. Get your mind thinking before the first of the year hits.
And when you're preparing and you're planning your holiday meals, think about your chakras.
Get all those colors in there.
Red,
make a rainbow.
Orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and white. That's always going to be whipped cream.
Or cauliflower.
Whipped cream. She says cauliflower, I say whipped cream.
I go for the whipped cream too.
Thank you for joining us today.